All right, Samar, this is gonna be quite fun. Discussing with someone in India in this sort of second season of our Cash Goes Digital. So, welcome to the interview, Samar.
Thank you, Joachim. It's a first experience, so looking forward to it. Absolutely.
And you're based in Mumbai, aren't you?
That's right. At this point of time, I'm in Mumbai. Yeah. I was in Gurgaon till the time when my last assignment, but yeah, now I've moved back to my family in Mumbai.
In Mumbai, yeah, this is, I think, known to all Indians, but not so common knowledge to Sweden. How would you characterize Mumbai in terms of financial services? Is that the center of it, or where I know not everything is in Mumbai, but there is a lot which is in Mumbai, isn't it?
It is the financial capital, I would say, of India, definitely. And all the banks, the regulator, uh, the insurance players, so they are all, most of them are headquartered in Mumbai. So it's definitely the stock market, uh, the Bombay Stock Exchange. So that's everything is based in Mumbai in terms of the financial capital, I would say. It's the
Yeah, and you are sort of you are a long-term executive, aren't you, in the sort of financial space? Tell us a little bit, because I don't know. We just have 20 minutes, Samar. So, but I know you. But what can you summarize? What's your experience in the payment space and financial space?
So my experience, so my work prior to getting the opportunity to working with Crunchfish, I was with American Express for a very long time, almost 25 years, and there I was on the payment side, on the commercial card side, because Amex is by and large a card company. So on the commercial card side, I was definitely in my last assignment. I was working building the supply chain business for American Express, and also on the merchant acquiring side. So the payment space is extremely exciting, especially in the, I would say, last 3 to 4 years after demonetization, I would say. So
Yeah,
demonetization saw a huge impetus on digital payments, especially this particular government is very pro digital payments, I would say. It started with demonetization. They have taken several steps to, create an impetus on digital, people moving on to the digital platform. So it's been a sea change, I would say, in last 3 to 4 years, and it's happening at a breakneck speed. And it's very difficult to even keep a track of the kind of changes and the innovation which was happening, and both from a fintech or the ecosystem perspective, but even from the consumer behavior.
yeah.
The consumer behavior has changed a lot. I can't even imagine, the scenario which was, demonetization. It seems to be several years back, but it's probably just 4 to 5 years back only.
Yeah,
So
I talked to the regional head of Mastercard in another webinar we did on the role of the state, the Swedish state, on the digital payments market, and he said, cards have been around for 50 years, but it has happened more in the last 5 years than it happened in the previous 45. And I guess that sort of move that India did for, as you say, demonetization was you just, I think that was probably very important for India that happened. Can you explain what was demonetization? What because I wasn't it that you some notes got sort of overnight they or yeah, you tell me. I wasn't there, but you were there in the middle of it.
So there were a couple of currency denominations which overnight were told that they will not be in circulation at all, cannot be used. So, people who had that kind of money had, and it happened overnight at the stroke of the midnight. Nobody even had a absolute inkling that something like that is coming our way, right? So the banks, nobody as an individual, nobody was prepared for such an event. Let's put it that way. It happened around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening. It was announced, and effective midnight, that currency which you had to be brought to the bank and changed. The new currency took a little bit of time for it to get, be delivered to the bank. So there was quite a lot of panic in the beginning, I would say. And so overnight, certain kind currencies, because the government believed that there was a lot of counterfeit currency which was in circulation, so they wanted to change that and introduce some new higher denominations as well. So that's what pretty much happened, and everybody was caught off guard. So let's put it that way. And after first couple of weeks, obviously the infrastructure, the ATM machines had to be recalibrated for the new currency or the notes. It's such a huge country, so it was quite a challenging time, and it's a cash economy as well, right? While in the big cities, people still use credit cards and wallets, but still in tier two and the hinterland and the rural areas, people are dependent only on cash. So it was a shock, but I guess was an important step from a long-term perspective. And post that, the government came up with a lot of initiatives for people to move to digital payment. The fintech or the ecosystem also, helped a lot in terms of making the switch from cash to digital payments, and making the
Yeah,
consumers
you're saying
move.
3, 4 years ago, because I know UPI, that the unified payment interface, sort of this is the instant payment rail for mobiles used in India. That sort of came about in 2016, I think. This is where
Close to that, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. So government has been working very proactively in terms of making the building blocks. So they created NPCI. They created this fabulous product called UPI, and today UPI is doing billions of transactions in a month, right? And this could not have been imagined, I would say, 5 years back. That people would not have even thought that NPCI would become such a huge organization that at this point of time in last 3 months the transactions have gone so much that there is a high decline rates as well. And now the regulator has proposed that some new umbrella entities would come into play probably by sometime by Q1 or Q2 of next year. And the market is going to go up, open up for more players to get into the space.
Yeah, let me just I think so NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India, is sort of a almost like a switching house, isn't it, for retail payments? They have card schemes, but they have also then UPI, and they're so close to you, aren't they? They're that regulation body, because it was actually, you may not know this, Samar, because you were not working with countries, but that was my first meeting in India. I landed in the morning. In India, you always land in these odd hours, sort of 2:30 in the morning. That's and we came to Rutella sort of around 4, and then we had a meeting at 10 with NPCI, the head of UPI. This was, Anubhav Sharma, first meeting.
Okay.
And it was quite interesting because, our pitch was offline payments. And it sort of took him some time because he was talking about the declines that he after 20 seconds there is a decline in the back, so you can't offline. It took some time for him to get it that we explained that we just store the transactions and then we send it up later. We see payments as sort of a two-step process. First you do an offline settlement, so you can release the customer, and then as a subsequent step, we will then send it up to the UPI rail. And I think he thought that was quite intriguing and interesting. I remembered, and now they have grown so big. So this, as you said, NUEs, new umbrella entities. The government or RBI is going to create more players like NPCI, simply for redundancy, isn't it? Because they can't rely on one player having billions of transactions.
Absolutely. One, from redundancy, and probably just to create more competition and more innovation. So, when you have more competition, well, definitely NPCI has done a fabulous job of, reaching such a mind-boggling scale, which nobody would have imagined. And in terms of changing the consumer behavior as well. But it's good to have competition. Yeah. Definitely, it'll help, reduce the load from one entity. But we never know what kind of innovations the other organizations come up with.
So because NPCI, that's bank owned, isn't it? It's sort of, it's initiated by RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, but it's sort of a bank. It's a bank owned organization, NPCI. Yes. But what sort of organizations do you think that RBI will allow to become new umbrella entities? What sort of players are you anticipating to come in to be new switching houses in India?
I would say somehow it could be, certain banks, large banks, certain telecom players as well. telecom or large business houses, but they have interest in telecom because telecom is very closely linked to payments because people make payments now with phones,
Yeah.
right? So it's very closely intertwined with
And they
and
have
some
their
large.
billing systems as well, sort of.
Yes, and
Yeah.
large technology players as well, I would say. I would not be surprised any large, India has got a couple of Wipro, Infosys, TCS, some of these players also looking at, joining hands together and maybe the networks as well, some other networks. So it could be
When you say
banks,
network,
tech.
is that Visa, Mastercard type of thing?
Absolutely, absolutely. Visa, Mastercard could be American Express. So I'm just saying banks, networks, telecom, and a technology giant. I would say not a. There would be some fintechs, obviously, but some large technology giant also could
Yeah,
join hands. That's
yeah,
what my sense is.
yeah, yeah. How long have you been with Crunchfish, Samar?
Close to 6 to 7 months. So I joined in the month of May. So
Yeah,
it's been a
half a year.
fabulous association. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know when you joined, you were locked up. You were in the
Yes,
quarantine at that
that's
point.
right.
I
Yeah,
think that ended somewhere, wasn't it, in somewhere in June or something? Then you were
that's
allowed
right.
out again.
That's yeah, yeah.
And now, how what do you think of Crunchfish, and what do you think of how is it COVID right now in India? Or is that affecting your work, or is it quite okay, or
So
what's
I
it?
would still say the face-to-face meetings are still not happening, too many of them. It
Yeah,
has started happening, but it is quite less, I would say, at this point of time. But yes, it has started happening, I would say. There are some organizations, but certain multinationals have still, not given a time frame when they will open up. Like yesterday, Google announced till September, people can continue working from home and things like that. So, multinationals, I would say, are still not yet open at all.
but
But large,
you're having video meetings with them, aren't you?
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
But there are no face-to-face meetings which is happening. But yeah, COVID, at least in Mumbai, it is under control when people are following the protocol. People have got used to the new protocol. Let's put it that way.
mm,
While they are going out for the essential things, but they're following the protocol which has been prescribed by the authorities, and things are under control, I would say.
yeah,
But
yeah.
one can't take too
Yeah.
many
And
chances.
the good thing with me, for me, in a way, because that I love to be part of these meetings. I have probably at the moment 2 Indian meetings a day. So
Wow.
I certainly, and I don't have to travel. I can still do
Yeah.
them, and it's
It
keeping.
is efficient.
Yeah,
It's definitely an efficient way of doing. This is a new norm, I would say. You don't need to actually go, but yeah, some new people when you meet, it's good to meet face to face. I prefer that,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
my personal choice.
Yeah, and that's why it's so good for us, because the other 3 we have in India, Vijay and Drew, they're in Gurgaon outside India, Delhi, south of Delhi, and then we have Noida, which is sort of more, I guess, is that north of Delhi, a little bit.
Yeah.
Gagan is sort of in Noida, sort of. So it's all the Delhi area, but that's why it's so great to have you down, in the financial heart of India. Because there are some interesting players there. WhatsApp, they are close to, I know you've been talking to
Yes.
WhatsApp, for instance.
Yes, that's right.
Every Indian have a WhatsApp on their smartphone, and now then when they release WhatsApp in the market, they know this gonna kill, I think, the bank servers.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they just put
Because the
20 million.
usage of WhatsApp is just mind-boggling. People don't even use text nowadays. So, that's a default, messaging system, I would say.
Yeah, and they have put payments on, but I think is it the regulator? Because I know, say that there are 500 million Indians with smartphones already have WhatsApp, and I've heard a number that they have only allowed 20 million to go live, because I think the bank service will die if they let sort of 500 million all of a sudden start paying with UPI over WhatsApp.
That's true. That's true. It's in a phased manner. They're probably just testing and learning, and gradually. And as you rightly said, the infrastructure would not support everybody transacting through it, because the moment they open it, everybody will start using WhatsApp as well.
Because
So
right now what we see in India, as you said, going out to the hinterland and the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, whatever, connectivity is an issue. But the current problem in India is not connectivity. The biggest problem is the bank servers are not coping for the sheer load of transactions happening. So this is sort of a huge problem. I know it affects card payments as well, because it's the same bank servers.
It is true. So that definitely, I would say, right now connectivity is a secondary issue. You're absolutely right. So the load on the bank servers, which everybody knows is now going to go up only with, it'll just, and as this has been growing very rapidly in the last couple of months, so it will continue to go up. So I would say, that definitely is one of the biggest concerns at this point of time, of the decline rates and the load which is on there. And that's where probably Crunchfish comes in the picture as well.
Yeah.
How we can solve for this without probably investing too much in technology, and which will take its own time, I would say, by the time technology gets upgraded to handle that kind of volume as well. So
Yeah.
that's where we come in the picture. And that's why there is a lot of interest in the market in terms of talking to Crunchfish and understanding our solution.
Yeah, and I've understood that. It's kind of fun that we're not seen as we're not a new brand anymore. The word is out that Crunchfish, because we do solve the bank server load problem, as our system means that people could they can do the transaction in real time, instantly. The merchant can let go of the customer, and then as a subsequent step, you can upload, meaning that the bank servers could deal with that, not when it's time critical, having only 20 seconds to respond. They could just send them up sort of later when they have connectivity, and then it's just stored at the bank server. But that will take away all the pressure currently on the bank servers. And obviously we solve the connectivity as well. So it's two huge problems, which are right in the face of in the Indian market, that I think our sort of cash goes digital solution is really addressing.
That's true. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And secondly, the connectivity, because that also is a challenge. But yes, lately we've seen the server issues is a bigger problem. But yeah, connectivity also continues to be a challenge. And if the uh, vision of the regulator and the government is to make sure the digital penetration happens in the rural areas, then definitely there is a another role for us to play and fulfill that gap and fast track that adoption of digital payments in rural area as well.
Yeah. What do you think of the future for you are a very seasoned sort of payment executive, been with, as you said, with American Express 25 years and so on, and really you are senior, so you talk. But what do you think of Crunchfish, Samar, and what do you think of our chance in India, and as even beyond India? What's in the crystal ball as you see it?
So my experience Crunchfish in the last 6 months has been quite amazing, I would say, because the way we have come across, how we have evolved in the 6 months time as well as an organization, is quite mind-boggling. In the sense that how we have adapted to the changes which were required for a market like India, uh, improved the solution in a very quick time frame because of the kind of people and the thinking which has gone into building such a solution, uh, and now trying to execute it in a all that is happening parallelly, I would say. So it's not a sequential thing. That's quite mind-boggling, and the kind of awareness which has been generated, as you said, in last 5 to 6 months. Now everybody in the market knows Crunchfish is a player in this particular space. So that itself is a quite an achievement. Now that needs to obviously translate into actual proof of concept and implementation and things like that, which I don't think so it's very far away, because the kind of effort and the awareness which has gone, the work which has gone into developing the solution itself is incredible. And then the speed at which we work, the agility, the entrepreneur mindset is fabulous. And because it's an excellent team and the great culture of the organization, I would put it that way. So that's a true testament. It's a pleasure to work with the entire team, solving for such big problems. I know there are other problems which you're trying to solve, all right, for example, on the food waste and things like that. So those are big ticket things from a customer perspective, from the the government perspective, and obviously it would help Crunchfish in the long run for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Samar, I think I'm really happy I know you had a choice, and I'm very grateful that you choose to because if you've been with sort of big companies like American Express is a huge company, and taking a chance to joining us, a Swedish fintech startup sort of in this way, I think is just amazing. So I'm really grateful because we need a bridgehead in the financial heart of India, and I'm so happy that you are willing to take on that role.
It's great for getting this opportunity, and it's been a fun journey, I would say, and it'll become better only once we start implementing some projects as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll see a lot of exciting times ahead for all of us.
I think so too, Samar. Hey, I this week, we are gonna cover sort of this theme week. The second week is sort of theme India. You are sort of our first sort of presentation will be you, and it will be followed by I know you work very closely to Gagan Kaushal, who is going to be our sort of second, and then I'll finish off on Christmas Day with our Indian top model Dhruv. We'll have him on Christmas Day as sort of a surprise for everybody.
Absolutely. That'll be wonderful, and thanks for that. Yeah.
No, I'm really grateful. Thanks for volunteering to do this interview, and thanks for the great work you're doing for us. And I know we have a meeting tomorrow as well with one of the tech companies for the whole oil sector, because you're quite experienced in oil, aren't you? The whole oil industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have worked a lot with the government sector and as well as the private players in the oil sector, and that is another area which we believe Crunchfish solution is a very good fit to solve for a lot of problems, because oil as an industry is across length and breadth of the country. Connectivity issue is an issue. You're dealing with all kind of demographics of the customers as well, right? From an urban to a semi-urban and rural customer. So definitely we believe there can be a lot of synergies with the oil companies, and that's a big industry as well. So
in India, yeah, for sure.
Purely from a potential perspective, the challenge perspective, it can be definitely one of the industries we should evaluate. We are evaluating very seriously.
Yeah, no, it's a great meeting tomorrow. I know. So let's see what we can do with that one.
Sure.
So Samar, thank you so much, and we'll be in touch. I know we talk every Friday, so on our sort of Swedish time 11:15 is our sort of, and I guess that's you are 4 and 4:30. What would that be?
4:45.
4:45 your time, isn't it? 3:45.
3:45.
Friday sync.
That's right.
Yeah, so we meet then if we meet on Thursday now, and then we'll have the Friday sync as well. So no, thank you so much for the interview, and
thank you. Okay.
Samar. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.